Good morning and welcome to Mary Ellen's Miracle Moment. Of course, I'm Mary Ellen and you can always connect with me through askmaryellen.com. And I hope you will check out my website, askmaryellen.com. There are tons of inspirational blogs, interviews, my YouTube videos. Some of them are on there, and of course my YouTube channel, you can subscribe to it. The 3 books you see behind me are available, and if I can help you in any way, please connect with me to ask me some questions or allow me to assist you on your life journey. On Mary Ellen's Miracle Moment, I always tell an inspirational story that will inspire you, or maybe it will inspire whomever you share it with. And today's story is titled Shipwrecked. Once upon a time, during a very severe storm at sea, a ship wrecked, leaving only 2 surviving men. These men were able to swim to a nearby deserted island. When they got to the island, they knew the only recourse they had was to pray to God. Yet they had a problem. They didn't know whose prayers God would listen to, the first man or the second man. They didn't know whose prayers would be more powerful, the first man or the second man. So they decided to go to each end of the island. The first man went to the left end of the island, and the second man went to the right end of the island. And the first thing they both prayed for was food and water. In the morning, the first man saw a beautiful fruit tree laden with fruit that was so juicy to provide him enough water, and he was so excited. But the second man, his land remained barren. After the first week, the first man decided to pray for a wife or a companion because he was very lonely. The next day, of course, another ship wrecked, and the only survivor, a woman, was able to swim to the first man's side of the island, and he was so joyful. Of course, the second man still had nothing on his side of the island. Soon, the first man thought he should pray for more food, clothes, and maybe a house, a home for he and his wife. Like a miracle, the next morning, all of these things started to wash up on shore. And still, the second man had nothing. Finally, the first man thought, I should pray for a ship, so my wife and I and some of our possessions could leave the island. You're right. In the morning, a ship docked on the first man's side of the island. And he was so thrilled. He got his wife and some of his possessions, and he was boarding the ship and to leave. And he decided to leave the second man on the island because the second man, none of his prayers had been answered. So he must not be deserving of any of God's blessings. So I have to leave him on the island. At least that's what he thought. So as the ship was about to leave, the first man heard a voice booming down from heaven. "Why are you leaving your companion on the island?" "Well, my blessings are mine alone, since I was the one that prayed for them and they were answered," said the first man. "His prayers went all unanswered, so he does not deserve anything." "You are mistaken," the voice from heaven said. "He only had one prayer, which I answered, and if not for that, you would not have received any of my blessings." "Well, tell me," the first man asked the voice, "what did he pray for that I should owe him anything?" "He prayed that all your prayers be answered." I love that story because, we are all worthy of receiving everything good from God. One person's prayers are not any more powerful than the other person's prayers. Yet when we pray together as a group for the same thing, that does add power to our prayers. You must be careful how you pray and what you pray for, because God always gives you what you pray for. And although it might not come the way you think it will come. I know a long time ago I used to pray for patience. And I don't know how I thought it would come. Yet I kept praying for patience, and I kept going through one hard time after another hard time. And I was speaking with a girlfriend of mine, and I said, God is putting me through all of these things. And she looked at me and she goes, Mary Ellen, I bet you're praying for patience. I was like, yeah, how did you know? And she said, well, how do you think God teaches it? I never thought about that. And there is a true story, a very sad true story, about a grandmother who wanted to buy her grandson a car, yet she had very little money. So she prayed for money in abundance, and she went out and bought a lottery ticket. Of course, she won the lottery. She gave her grandson enough money to buy any kind of car he wanted. And of course, being a teenager, he bought the fastest car he could find on the market. The first time he drove it, he crashed it, killing everyone inside, including himself. And the car he hit, all of the people in that car also died. So the rest of the lottery money was spent repaying the victims of this particular car crash. So although this grandmother did receive money and abundance, it didn't come in the way she thought it would. And it wasn't used the way she thought it would. Many people pray for happiness. Well, you can have happiness at any time of the day. Just choose it. I'm happy right now just speaking to you, being able to speak to you, being able to do the things that I do every day. I'm happy when I'm outside sitting in my garden. I'm happy outside walking in nature. I'm happy when I'm hang gliding and paddle boarding and snowmobiling and all of those fun things. Yet I don't have to be out doing things to be happy. I'm happy with myself today because I've finally learned how to love myself. The next time you pray, choose your words carefully. Because remember, God always answers all prayers. And He answers them. He gives you exactly what you pray for. So be very careful. Because God is always listening. I'll be back on Monday with Miracles of Mary Ellen. It's a special miracle on the miracle of relationships. How to find a relationship, get over a relationship, create a relationship, all kinds of things. Until then, have some fun this week. Be careful how you pray, but please do pray. And if you want peace, if you want to add power to your prayer, pray with a group. Pray together. And let's all pray for peace and love and charity and compassion and kindness in our world. Go to Ask Mary Ellen to leave me a message. Connect with me. Buy any of the books you see behind me. Listen to my blogs. Or go to my YouTube channel and be a subscriber at Ask Mary Ellen. Until Monday, I hope you have a fun-filled, very prayerful weekend. Bye-bye.